is Derek Anderson. The title of my presentation is The Famous Theorist Ivan Pavlov. Ivan Pavlov was born September 14, 1849 in Ryazan, Russia, where his father was a village priest. He was first educated at the church school in Ryazan and then at the theological seminary there. Inspired by the progressive ideas from early Russian physiology, Pavlov abandoned his religious career and decided to devote his life to science. He completed the degree of candidacy of natural science in 1875 and went on to get his doctorate in 1879. In 1890, Pavlov organized and directed the Department of Physiology at the Institution of Experimental Medicine. At this institute, Pavlov did the bulk of his research on physiology of digestion. Pavlov's claim to fame was the theory of classical conditioning, which is a type of learning in which one learns to link two or more stimulus in anticipating events. This theory can be best explained in his experiment of the salivating dog. Without fail, putting food in the dog's mouth causes the dog to salivate. The dog begins to salivate at not only the taste of food, but the sight or dish or the person delivering the food. Pavlov realized that this point is simple but important for learning. Pavlov tried to imagine what the dog was thinking and feeling as it drooled in anticipation of the food. To eliminate other possible influence, Pavlov isolated the dog in a small room to experiment. Pavlov paired food in the dog's mouth with neutral stimuli, which are events that don't associate with the food in the dog's mouth. If a sight or sound signaled the arrival of food, would the dog learn to link the two? If so, would the dog begin salivating in anticipation of the food? The answers were yes and yes. Before placing the food in the dog's mouth to produce salivation, Pavlov sounded a tone. After several pairings of the tone and the food, the dog anticipated the food and started salivating to the tone alone. Unconditional responses are called unlearned, and learned are called conditional responses in the science of classical conditioning. The procedure works with people also. An experimental sounds a tone just before delivering an air puff into your blinking eye. After several repetitions, you will blink only at the tone alone. Pavlov's experiments are some of the most known of the 20th century. Pavlov was the first Russian to receive the Nobel Prize in 1904. Throughout his life, he received world-acclaimed recognition and rewards. He continued to experiment until the end of his life on February 27, 1936. Pavlov showed us that classical conditioning is the one way that all organisms learn to adapt to their environment. Pavlov also showed us processes such as learning can be studied objectively. Today, most psychologists agree that classical conditioning is a basic form of learning, but today's knowledge of chemical processes make Pavlov's ideas incomplete. But if we see further than Pavlov did, it's because we are standing on his shoulders. The end.